Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're going to be diving into the world of semiconductors
Oh, yeah.
with TSMC's Q3 2024 earnings.
Right.
We've got their presentation slides ready to go, and trust me, you don't need to be a Wall Street wizard to find this stuff fascinating.
Yeah, it's true. These reports, they're not just numbers on a page. They're
Right.
like a secret code revealing the future of technology,
Yeah.
like from the phones in our pockets to the cars we drive.
Okay, so let's decode this thing.
Okay.
TSMC is reporting a revenue of 23.50 billion US dollars.
Wow.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Big whoop, a billion here, a billion there. But
Right.
that's a 36% jump from last year.
Yeah. And that kind of growth is,
Huge.
it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Every time you see a new phone launch a faster gaming console, or even just like hear about self-driving cars,
Right.
getting closer to reality, that demand
Yeah.
is a big part of why TSMC is booming.
So how does TSMC even make money? What's their secret sauce?
So their bread and butter are these tiny things called 5 nanometer
Okay.
and 7 nanometer technologies. Imagine the tiniest speck of dust you've ever seen
Okay.
and shrink it down even further,
Yeah.
like 1,000 times smaller.
Wow.
That's the scale we're talking about here.
Really?
These incredibly small transistors are what make our powerful devices possible.
Wow.
And they rake in a whopping 49% of TSMC's revenue.
Wow. So smaller really is better in the world of chips.
It is.
But who's buying all these microscopic marvels?
Well, it might not surprise you that smartphones are still king,
Right.
accounting for 34% of their revenue.
Okay.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The automotive sector is quickly gaining ground,
Really?
pulling in 5%,
Okay.
with a remarkable 16% growth just this past quarter.
Hold on, 16% growth. That's
It's huge.
huge. What's driving that kind of surge in automotive chip demand?
It's all about the tech revolution happening under the hood.
Oh.
Cars are becoming more like computers on wheels every day,
Mm-hmm.
with advanced safety features, self-driving capabilities,
Right.
and all sorts of digital bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Each of those features needs powerful chips to function,
Yeah.
and that's where TSMC comes in.
So basically, our love for fancy car features is making a dent in the semiconductor world.
It is.
Who knew? But let's get real for a second.
Right?
Why should the average person even care about this?
Yeah.
How does it impact our lives beyond just cooler gadgets and fancier cars?
What's a great question. This isn't just about luxury features.
Okay.
Think about the potential of self-driving cars to reduce accidents,
Right.
or the role of sophisticated sensors in making our vehicles more fuel efficient.
Mm-hmm.
These advancements,
Yeah.
made possible by companies like TSMC,
Yeah.
have the potential to make our roads safer,
Right.
our commutes easier,
Yeah.
and our impact on the environment a little lighter.
That's a really good point. Okay, so TSMC is clearly raking in the cash. But what are they doing with all that dough?
Yeah.
Their earnings presentation also gives us a peek at their balance sheet, right?
Absolutely. One thing that immediately stands out is their cash
Mm-hmm.
and marketable securities,
Okay.
which make up a hefty 35.2% of their total assets.
Okay, so for those of us who don't speak fluent finance,
Sure.
break that down for us.
Okay.
What does that actually mean?
Think of it as TSMC's war chest.
Okay.
Having a large amount of cash on hand
Yeah.
means they're in a strong position to make strategic investments,
Okay.
weather any economic storms,
Right.
and, most importantly, invest in research and development
Mm-hmm.
to stay ahead of the technology curve.
And speaking of staying ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
they've been pouring money into building new fabs.
Right.
What exactly is a fab anyway? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It kind of is. Fab is just shorthand for fabrication plant.
Okay.
And these are basically the high-tech factories where those microscopic chips are made.
Okay.
It's a complex and expensive process.
Right.
So TSMC investing in new and upgraded fabs
Yeah.
tells us they're serious about keeping up with the ever-growing demand for their products. And it's not just about building more fabs. It's about strategic partnerships, too.
Okay.
They recently announced a collaboration
Mm-hmm.
with Amkor, a leading semiconductor packaging and test services provider.
Okay, so I'm sensing this is a big deal.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, semiconductor packaging
Yeah.
sounds a bit over my head.
Sure.
What's so special about this partnership?
Okay, so imagine you've baked this incredibly intricate, delicate cake.
Okay.
That's the chip TSMC makes.
Right.
Now you need the perfect box
Yeah.
to protect it,
Yeah.
keep it fresh,
Okay.
and make sure it can be easily integrated with other components.
Okay.
That's essentially what Amcor excels at, the packaging and testing part.
Right.
It's a crucial step
Gotcha.
in the manufacturing process.
Okay.
And this partnership allows TSMC to boost their capabilities in Arizona, closer to their U.S. customers.
So it's like a strategic alliance
Yeah.
to streamline their operations and get those high-demand chips out the door faster.
Exactly. And speaking of strategic moves,
Okay.
TSMC's also been busy breaking ground on a new fab in Dresden, Germany.
Right. I remember reading a news snippet about that.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really serious about expanding their global footprint.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This European expansion is a clear signal
Okay.
that they're not putting all their eggs in one basket
Right.
by diversifying their manufacturing locations.
Yeah.
TSMC is positioning themselves to meet the growing demand for semiconductors from all corners of the world,
Wow.
while also navigating potential geopolitical risks.
It's like they're playing chess on a global scale,
Yeah,
anticipating future moves and strategically placing their pieces for maximum impact.
precisely. They're playing the long game,
Yeah.
and the strategic expansions,
Yeah.
both in Arizona and Europe, are key to maintaining their dominance in the semiconductor industry.
So it's not just about keeping up with current demand,
Right.
but anticipating where the demand will be in the coming years.
Exactly.
Pretty impressive foresight.
Now, looking ahead, TSMC has also provided some guidance for their fourth quarter performance,
Okay.
projecting revenue between 26.1 and 26.9 billion US dollars.
Okay, so they're expecting another strong quarter.
They are.
But those numbers can seem a bit abstract.
Yeah.
What does that kind of revenue actually translate to
Sure.
in terms of their growth and profitability?
Those figures suggest they're confident in sustained demand,
Okay.
and they're projecting a strong gross profit margin
Okay.
between 57% and 59%.
Okay.
In simpler terms, for every dollar of revenue they generate,
Yeah.
they're keeping a significant chunk as profit
Right.
after accounting for the cost of manufacturing those chips.
So healthy profits, a strong balance sheet, ambitious expansion plans. It sounds like TSMC is firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely. But beyond the impressive numbers,
Yeah.
what I find truly captivating is how this story reflects
Okay.
the broader technological landscape.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
TSMC's success isn't just about their ability to manufacture tiny chips.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the insatiable demand for those chips,
Yeah.
driven by the increasing digitalization of,
Yeah.
well, everything.
Yeah, right. From the explosion of smartphones and smart devices to the
Right.
rise of artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and the Internet of Things.
Exactly.
It seems like everything around us relies on powerful chips.
And as we demand more from our devices,
Yeah.
those devices demand more from their chips.
Right.
It's a fascinating cycle of innovation and demand.
Yeah.
And TSMC is right at the heart of it.
It's mind-blowing when you realize just how much our world relies on these tiny chips. But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
TSMC also shared some news about their dividend payout rate.
Yes, they announced a cash dividend
Okay.
of NT $4 per share for Q2 2024.
Okay, time for a quick translation for those of us who don't speak Taiwanese currency fluently.
Right.
What does that actually mean for investors?
Basically, it's a way for TSMC to share their profits directly
Oh.
with their shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
And a dividend of NT $4 is a pretty healthy return,
Okay.
signaling that they're confident in their continued profitability.
Right.
It's like a big thank you to the people who have invested in their success.
So to recap, we've covered a ton of ground today.
We have.
From TSMC's impressive revenue numbers and their technological prowess
Yeah,
to their global expansion strategy and financial stability.
it's impressive.
What are some key takeaways you think our listeners should walk away with today?
For me, it's the reminder that what might seem like dry financial data
Yeah.
is actually a captivating story about innovation, global competition,
Right.
and the ever-increasing role of technology in our lives.
Yeah.
TSMC's performance highlights the insatiable demand for advanced chips,
Mm-hmm.
not just for our smartphones,
Right.
but across a multitude of sectors.
It's like we've been on a behind-the-scenes tour of the engine room powering the digital age.
It really is.
We've seen how TSMC is strategically positioning itself to meet the surging global demand for semiconductors, which is pretty amazing.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it begs the question,
Okay.
as we become even more reliant on these advanced technologies,
Yeah.
what does the future hold for semiconductor manufacturing?
Right.
What role will companies like TSMC play in shaping that future?
Now, those are some thought-provoking questions to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the intricate world of TSMC and the semiconductor industry.
Of course.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and maybe even a newfound appreciation for those tiny chips that power our world.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.